Hey, welcome back to another episode of Bitcoin and Altcoin Trading Talk. I am your host, Joe, with Coinigy here, joined by the wonderful Mr. Brian Beamish from therationalinvestor.com. How we doing tonight, Brian?
Good, good. And yourself?
Not too shabby, feeling better. As I was telling you earlier, I was down for the count with the flu last week, but feeling a lot better and excited to talk some cryptocurrency. We got a lot of requests already from the audience, and I see that we just got another one as well. So keep them coming, or
Yeah,
we'll
you
keep.
can really feel the enthusiasm is picking up. Actually, I don't. Yeah, I guess you've been in through some of these crazy bull runs.
Yep, joined back in it was August of 2017, so right as it was just starting to pick up right at the end of 2017 into early 2018. So yeah, that was that now six plus years going on like six and a half
There you
years
go.
at
You're just a
Coinigy.
gnarly old veteran. That's all you are.
We've seen it's funny during like some of those bear runs, people, oh, so Bitcoin's dead. I was like, I've seen worse. And
Yeah.
it's like it's part of the game. So yeah, it's been interesting, and as you've been telling me, it's buy when it snows, sells when it goes, and I saw
Yeah,
Mount
it's
Hood and it's got some snow on
definitely.
it.
Mind you, we were just talking about this earlier. It is a bit abnormally warm here on the West Coast this year.
Yeah, it
But
is. That El Nino effect, I think, is hitting.
is that what it is? All right.
It's called the El Nino effect. It's supposed to be a little bit warmer of a winter this year. So
Sure.
we shall see how that plays into crypto.
Yeah,
But
I'm not quite sure how the well, I mean, what I
well,
found
that's a question for
fascinating was,
Josh.
so what's that? Sorry,
That's a question for Josh. With
Josh.
I feel like he knows something about that.
Okay, I did find it interesting that literally, I saw this year pictures of Halloween with pumpkins buried in snow, which is a bit of an oddity for back east, but it just so was perfectly timed. And like
With
literally, we went into that eclipse window there in the middle of October, and it came out the back end at the end of October, first week in November, and everything is just straight up
it's
since then. It's quite
been
remarkable, really.
nice. It has been a nice
Anyway,
couple of
I
weeks
suppose
here.
if you were a bull and you were able to get your act together and get your plan together and get names bought and done your research, you should have been rewarded pretty nicely.
Yes, sir.
We did have. I remember there was a couple names that we got you interested in. We should probably circle around and
We should.
you
I did
take
get.
like screenshots because my hunch is all the names that you were interested in have probably gone and bottomed. So at least
Yep.
now,
Let
in hindsight, you can see what the bottom looks like.
me see Let's see what some of the ones that I've got in. It was just a
Ugh,
little old
a bit of an
lady.
earache.
Did like yeah, I got Solana there.
Solana, you bought said, did you buy said, did you buy any of this stuff or was it
I
just
did.
stuff
So
that you
this
were
is all
watching?
stuff that I had is Solana, some Ethereum, some Chainlink,
There you
some
go.
VeChain, some Filecoin,
Oh yeah,
EOS.
I know that V chain that thing moved up quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm doing nice on that, and then some Litecoin and some Sushi Swap.
Sushi's been working its way up
It
here. So
has. So
anyway,
that's what's in the bag for me for now. So and yeah, I've been doing, I think so far my highest performers. I'm getting close to being able to have that first banging out doubles on the Solana. So
did you?
we're
I thought I remember that you got some of that link. Didn't you get in
yeah,
on that
man,
link?
that yeah,
Okay.
got you're right.
All right. Well, anyway, where should we take the conversation this
All
evening?
right. Well, I think that we've got one in the chat here actually. Let's just start with them for being one of our first ones on. So INJ. So this is Injective
INJ
to slash USDT.
versus Tether.
Yep. And then let's take a look on second one down on Binance. They've got the most 24-hour volume there. It's 25. million there you can see. So yeah, this one's been
Yeah.
winning. Don't chase though. That's the
Yeah.
first thing that popped in my head when I see that.
And this is a bit bothersome now because and you see how they could easily spend a good portion of 2024 now just slowly correcting this thing.
Yep.
So we're no longer cheap. You know, when we were talking, geez, I guess this thing bottomed last year. I mean, you can see where the bottom is. It's basically right across that level right there, right? There's your W, down, up, down, breakout. So that's at $3, and here we are 41. So it's already 10x. And unfortunately, you know, that we get into this phase of the market where it's kind of like, well, you know, if you're long, great, and you're probably pretty proud of yourself, and life's treating you well and all that kind of fun stuff. But awfully tough to be able to justify coming in on the buy side there. And if we do something like change it to a log scale, watch what happens. Oh, actually, probably. We've got an extension on here. Yeah, there's that. And well, oh yeah, okay. So it is based on log. Okay, now there we go. So at least you can see these levels a little clearer. So there's that W. See that W? It's actually pretty well defined when you change it to a log scale. And here
Nice.
we are looking at this thing way up here. So I don't know. You
Yep.
tell me. Does that look cheap?
No, sir.
Yeah.
We want it back
So,
in that reload zone.
yeah, and unfortunately, the person who probably asked about this is long, and the last thing in the world they want to see is it to come all the way back down to
Yeah.
here. So, you know, a big part of my job actually is makes it really, really easy once these markets do launch, because I'll just sit here and I'll go, no, 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 no. You know. So let's see, 2.618, 4.669. Where's our 877? On here somewhere. 877.
There we go.
So we probably need to maybe reverse it. Oof, there we go.
There
All
we go.
right, so we had one technical objective in here, 2.669. 2.618. That's probably what explains this traffic in here.
Okay.
So the next stop on this thing would be 4669, which would be all the way up here. $100. Woohoo.
Which is still double from where it's at.
Yeah, that would make sense. Oh yeah, you're right. Yep, that is a double. Probably something along those lines as well. So that's probably a level that you could, mind you, it doesn't look like the market's respecting that too much. But yeah, maybe you run into some traffic. You know, probably this is where the psychological level comes in.
Uh-huh.
Um, $50, big fat round number. That's the
BFRNs.
psychological level. And then $100, that's a big psychological level. I suppose you could probably also do things like an A, B,
CD.
and then clone that.
Hello, Adam. Welcome, my friend.
Interesting. So that also is lining up with that $53. Then it'd be interesting to do like an extension off of this. So there to there. And I think that's everybody. Oh,
Well, it's on the top of my mind. Everyone, please remember to like the video. It does help out. I know we usually say it at the end. I feel like sometimes it's almost too late in the video. So uh, give us the thumbs up if you find anything that you're learning here today useful and helps getting the exposure out for the videos.
Oh, thank you, Joe. So there's your parking garage.
Yes, sir.
Some AB equals CD
Hopefully.
objectives, fog and bombs into the parking garage. If you're looking for references on your way up here, I don't know. I mean, this is where it gets tricky in this game. Is do you really want to get into the business of calling tops? What
No.
I like to do is if I could buy this W here at like $3, then I'd sell some at 6, then I'd sell some at 12, then I'd sell some at 24, then I'd sell some at 48. So that would be the
Almost
next
there.
order would be some on the sell side there at 48. Then interestingly enough, the next double from that would be what 80, 96 or so.
Yeah.
So that would be up in this area as well. So I don't know whether it makes sense to try and pick tops. You got this AB equals CD, and then it looks like this is also an AB equals CD. So you could probably go, just A to B. And we'll do this in, where's the drawing box? Oh, there it is. Like that, maybe yellow. And C to D. So interesting.
Yeah,
That's
interesting.
actually
We're right
painting
back
right where
there.
we are now, eh? So I mean, you should look at this, and at the very also interesting 1.618 level there as well. So I don't think anybody should complain looking at this. I think you did pretty well. Uh, should it surprise you a top does come in somewhere up in here? I don't think so.
No. So
You
in my
know,
notes here for 1.618, I've got golden ratio. Why is it called that?
that's the name in mathematics. So if you were like going through a math textbook,
Uh-huh.
uh, and it's really uh, like if you take a look at the measurement of like your fingers, like your index finger and the joints and how they all sort of mathematically all sort of correspond with each other. They're
Mm-hmm.
all based off of that 1.618 ratio. Um, I can't really give you a
Yeah,
better mathematical
makes sense.
definition other than it's like when we look at things like the Nautilus shell and the maple leaf and all those, the way nature just progresses naturally.
Yeah.
Have you ever, this is always funny to look at things like Fibonacci spiral. So 1.618 happens to be sort of the mathematical relationship of one distance of vertical movement to one distance of horizontal movement.
Okay.
So this is how this progresses. It progresses as like 1.618 movement one direction, one unit movement direct the other direction, right? And every single box is mathematically exactly the same. Does that
Okay.
make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, it does.
So, and it creates this. And what's really funny is you go and look at, all the different memes and stuff on we used to do this. It was hilarious. I don't know whether this search engine's very good at this. I suppose, what I want to show you is the funny. It turns out the funniest place is like it is this same relationship in the Nautilus shell, in the sunflower seed. It's the same relationship as the way spiral galaxies move. It's exactly the same mathematical relationship. It's the same relationship as the way hurricanes and tornadoes progress on planet Earth.
Interesting.
And what was really funny years gone by, but it doesn't
Shells.
look like it. Used to always have these memes on Google search. Yeah, it's the way Donald Trump's hair progresses. So
That's
it's the
great.
way it's the mathematical relationship of how ears work. I mean, it's just it is it's a building block the way that Mother Nature works. And to go into it any further detail, I wouldn't
Yeah,
actually be doing the ratio justice and the math justice. You know, this is kind of a cool one. If a girl flips her hair, and the way that her hair and the water progresses, that also has to follow that same.
that's awesome. I never knew this.
Yeah.
Thank you for the explanation. I appreciate that.
All right. Well, anyway, hopefully that helps you understand the significance of this funny
Golden
relationship.
ratio.
And it just keeps turning up over and over and over, right? 0.618. God, we see this number ad nauseum. So, would it make sense? And really, like all this is this just an expression of Mother Nature? So, the question at the end of the day, and of course, a lot of humans don't like this kind of conversation, but the question at the end of the day is something like asset price movement in the marketplace, is it nothing more than just yet another way for Mother Nature to express itself? Do we have to follow all the same laws in our behavior and the way that we sort of deem things to grow, assets to grow in our sort of universe? Should it follow any other rules? And of course, like I said, a lot of people they don't like this because, in essence, what it means is that we don't really have any choice in all of this. It's we just have to follow the natural pattern of Mother Nature. You know, the whole sort of do I have free will and free choice, or is it all fatalist?
Interesting.
Yeah, well, it is an interesting Pandora's box,
Yeah.
that's for sure. And of course, it never ends. You know, one of some of the richest guys in the world, this whole chaos theory, right?
Yeah.
2.618, my love affair of that, and Feigenbaum. I mean, you could argue what's super cool is if you take the Mandelbrot set, uh, which you've probably seen this before. That's this image.
Yeah.
This is in essence the way that fractals operate. This is I'm not going to get into the explanation of
Yeah.
Mandelbrot. I never do him justice. But the point here is that if you actually take this image and tilt it on its side, what you actually get when you look at these individual arms is you actually get the
The
Fogum
frac. Okay. Feigenbaum.
constant. You actually get this image when you take this image and you like look at all of these little arms and stuff out on their own. And actually, I have a resource on the site where we take the Fogum or this Mandelbrot set and you turn it on its side, and all it is a whole bunch of these little bifurcations. The
Yeah.
way price moves. Again, this is all sort of our talk about how the universe works and how random is stuff that we actually do in our lives, and it turns out it's not very random at all.
Yeah.
Actually, you want
Jason,
to? I don't know whether you want to see a really cool example in the stock market today. It's kind of
yeah, let's
a
see it.
side,
Or,
but the stock market kind of melted down at the end of the day. So a big drop here,
oof,
eh?
that
See that?
is.
But if you take this and drill down to like a lower time frame, and actually the one I was doing it on because is the Nasdaq's the most popular.
It
So
smiled at
you'll
us.
notice here is that sort of smiling happy face, and I ended up shorting here, and I took profits at 2.618. That was right there.
There
But it
you
turns
go.
out I left a little money on the table. But
Yeah.
the point here is that this is the way the market expresses these mathematical principles. And probably this, you can see I've been in here buying and selling, having fun. But interesting how the market like pivots off of in fact, actually, this fog and bomb, you can really see the fight all through here right off of that 4669 level.
Yeah,
Anyway, so that's kind of what's happened in the stock market and how I would use it in the stock market to try and help me identify levels.
that's awesome.
Probably we could do it with Bitcoin too. Any of these, like if we, I did the video tutorial with you. So anybody watching can go and look at that. I still don't know whether I have, like it's actually a link on the Coinigy site or not.
Yeah,
Um, but where would be? I'm trying to find an easy example for you to see on here. Hmm, maybe even over here. Whoops. Well, anyway, getting off topic, but let's head on back over here and
yeah.
stay on topic. All right,
Well,
so
thank you for that. I appreciate the in-depth explanation of the golden ratio and beyond.
I hope I did it
Yeah.
justice. I would never
So,
say I'm really that. It's funny because my mother was a math major
uh,
and my father was engineering physics. So there's a bit of math in my blood, but when it comes to like textbook definitions of stuff, I'm always a little bit sloppy on that. So anyway, hopefully, just you understand the combination of Mother Nature and this mathematical formula. And the internet does a much better job at explaining this stuff than I ever would. So
I'll keep an eye out.
you can easily do like just like what is the golden ratio, and you could probably get a whole bunch of really cool resources that'll help you understand that. Anyway.
Sounds great. Well, then we still got a lot more out there if we want to.
Yeah, in fact, I kind of wasted some time there. Sorry, everybody.
No, no worries at all. I
I'll put
appreciate that.
the
Requesting that to me.
there's the link. Thought I
Send it
did
in
that. Let's
Discord.
try that again. Copy chart link. Um, do you want to do the? I don't know if I'll send you the link as well. I tried
Like,
to. Do we want to put? Do we want to show everybody you climbing to the top of the world?
if you want to, if you want to slide it over.
Yeah. So Joe is showing me. There he is, the top of the world. See, I'm way over here, way, way in the background in Canada, and he
Yeah.
was waving at me. It's going, why aren't you saying hello?
Yeah.
But
I
then he's
was
got this
at the
goofy
summit
hat. I swear,
of,
there's like this guy. Okay.
oh yeah, go pack go. Actually, if I didn't have the green screen up, you'd see right behind me right here is my ownership of the Green Bay Packers. I've got my share in the Packers, so I did make that investment. So I do have that hanging right behind me, and then next to me is my undergrad diploma.
I guess
So
there really isn't a pro football team in Oregon, eh? Isn't that interesting?
now you closest you got Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is at the summit of Mount St. Helens over this past weekend. That's Mount Adams uh, behind me. It was a nice hike. It was tough, but we had a good time.
Good for you. Good for you. Jason's
No,
like, screw
Jason, not
you.
the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, and actually, I suppose Detroit Lions and Green Bay Packers for a long time were kind of bitter rivals, eh?
Yeah.
All right, let's get back on task. So,
Yes.
what's next?
All
Oh,
right.
did you want
So
me to send you this link? Do you want the links, or do you want me to
yeah,
just put it in the
yeah.
YouTube channel?
Just send them to me, and I'll make sure to add them into the descriptions
All right.
of these videos.
Where is Joe? There he is. Oh, yeah, we're just showing your video, and there is the chart.
Beautiful.
Um,
So
what I
up.
think the simple message is I sure as hell hope if you did buy off the bottom there, you're paying yourself for your efforts. That's a 10 bagger. And I mean, that's kind of why we do this game, right? Is you want to find those 10x stories, and, see if you can at the very least just get yourself a risk free trade.
Yes, sir.
And, maybe it turns into life changing events, goes 100x into the peak into November of 25.
That would be amazing.
But this is
So
exactly what you really want to hunt for. You want to hunt for this. Super, super important. Hopefully everybody sees the
for
letter of
that
the
double
alphabet
bottom.
there.
Awesome. Well,
So let's
next
hope the
we
next idea we've been asked about
yeah.
has a
All right, so
setup
up
like it.
next, ELA.
ELA versus Tether.
Yes, please. So this is Elastos. And let's take a look on let's see it on KuCoin there. Yeah.
That way, yeah, there you can see the volumes. Looks like KuCoin has the
Oh yeah,
most.
it's got most. Yeah.
Well, it would have been nice of you to mention
Yeah.
this to us yesterday or the day
Yeah.
before.
If you told us yesterday, we would have loved this one.
Probably. So,
Cranked.
what's that?
You already doubled overnight. Don't chase.
Well, yeah, I mean, first off, maybe let's see where the hell this thing has been. So, boom. And boom.
That's
Yeah, all right. I mean, the problem here is I don't know whether this is all the data
it's
that you're
not.
working with.
It's way down on the trading range. I'm
Uh,
looking on a different one, but
I
um,
wonder. Hobby, actually, they've been around
yeah,
forever.
try that one maybe. But that the price is down on that one. That one's jumped,
Yeah, there
but
you go. That's a little better.
that was
So, obviously, to do half decent TA, you need a bit of price action to work with.
yeah.
So, if we have limited data, it makes it difficult to really give you a half decent idea. But I would say that, just really keep it simple, stupid. This trend line, if we can get a W on the other side of the trend line, that's kind of what's happening here now. If we this is looking on a regular scale. If we look at or a log scale, if we look at it on a regular scale, it looks like that, eh?
Hmm. Yeah.
So it's
Bottom end of
cheap.
the range.
Pardon me?
Bottom end of the trading range.
Yeah, I mean it is cheap. Um, suppose probably it'd be interesting to see what like the fundamental story was. It'd be a really nice breakout here, and then of course that translated into that move there. Actually, this might be a really good example of chaos theory. Let's see what kind of numbers that produces there. 2.618,
669,
4.669, 877.
877.
Yeah, we'll go with those. So, you got your 4669s. Um, also too, we can do a fib going back up off of that high there. And we can do things like reload zones.
Yeah.
So we can go
78.6.
Yeah. Right. And then we'll give where's our 88.6? Gotta be in here
It
somewhere.
is four up from the right.
All right. So 50% of this entire range is $32. So here we are at $2. So I would imagine that when this thing gets its act together, I mean, if anything, this is a really good analogy of how much, why. First off, do you now see why guys like me play the venture capital market? I mean, is there any
Yeah.
kind of money to be made here?
Yes,
You
there
have
is.
to force yourself to come in at the bottom end of the range, though.
Yeah.
And if anything, last year's price action is a really, really good analogy of why you really want to sell halves on doubles, right? So, let's keep it really simple. There to there, and then, I guess that doesn't matter. We can just go. So if you'd bought at 320, the guys that are like, okay, well, I'm not selling until I see $500 a coin or whatever.
Yeah.
This move up to I guess right there about 6.5, $7, right? That gets you a
Yeah.
double. And then you could have got another double off here because that meant 14. That's double seven. So you could have gotten two doubles off. And then
Risk
the
free
whole the
trade.
thing comes all the way right back down to the original bottom. So
Reload.
yeah, I mean, if you really want to play this like a professional, this is the way the pros play. Is it easy to do? No,
No,
I'm never gonna
it's an
say it's
adventure
easy.
cap.
But the point here is look at that 78.6 to 88.6. You could have easily reloaded on this thing. And notice, of course, this is the original double bottom here, right? If we just draw a horizontal line off of there. So you could have bought the double bottom, maybe even been a little cute and got in, say, on this pullback here against moving averages, whatever. Sell half on a double, sell another half on a double. So you'd now have booked 200% return. You have a quarter of your coins left. You got all your money back in your pocket twice. And then, if you want to take half of that original money that you put in and reload, if it comes back down against this original bottom, boom, you got your buy in. And then you just sort of sit there and don't do anything. Or if you want, you can wait for this thing to actually start bottoming out, Wing out, and lo and behold, that's what's happening right now.
Looks like that.
So you can make the argument, kind of like this bottom here. You can make the argument it's trying to do the same thing. I might ask, are we on the other side of trend lines? So there is this one here, that one definitely we're on the other side of. I wonder
Um,
whether this one we're on the other side of this though. Oh yeah, well, that's clean. So especially well, and I mean there's your killer. Mind you, gee
Killer
whiz,
trade.
that looks awfully tough. It's kind of messy in there. But I really don't have a problem with somebody coming in and picking up some of this. I really don't. You're coming in at the bottom end of the range. It would be interesting to see what the story is. Is there some sort of fundamental driver? Are they, making a new product that's going to revolutionize the crypto industry? Blah, blah, blah. I would imagine, technical objectives. We've got this hurdle to get through right now. So you can tell the people that came in here and bought here, they're trying to get out right now.
Yeah.
So they're sort of getting released from the couch. We might see the market back away from there. If it can get through here, next stop's here. And of course, if it can get through here, then we're up into these wicks up top here. So from what's that number? That and really, the double bottom there is just that high there, whatever that high is, $2.21, we'll call it, something in there.
Yeah. And that's
So
we're
I don't
currently
really
at
have a problem if you told me
212.
that you were long from 221 on this thing. We could probably look at momentum, another sign when the market was making these lower lows was momentum making higher lows. And it was. You can see the MACD histogram. See how it was making higher lows here? So the histogram was trying to tell you that price was actually stronger than what price would lead you to believe. And my overbought, oversold indicator, Willie, sitting very oversold and stupid. Minus 90s there on the reading. So market's oversold. This is a setup that we teach in our school program. Just really, can I see confirmed momentum, bullish momentum divergence. So that's basically that. And then that with Willie stupidly oversold. So that's that down in there. And the blue line, if you want to just get rid of the yellow line to make it easier to see, that's fine. Something along those lines. Well, that'll work. So you can see we are officially below minus 80. Stupidly oversold. Even a really nice W there too. And then your technical objective on the bounce would be 50% level. So, in fact, actually, I was even talking about this on the site today. We were sort of walking people through the little old lady sort of criteria. So, the question is, if I do buy this W, is it realistic for me to double my money if we see a trade back to the 50% rule? So if I buy this W at 220, do I double my money if it goes back to the 50% level at 733?
Yes.
I'll leave the math up to you.
Yep.
That's one of those difficult university questions. That's on the
Yes.
SAT, isn't
Something like that.
it? So, I mean, it's not a bad idea, and
Little old lady.
well, even okay. So there are a number of different risk takers. Little old lady, that's sort of a simple criteria. Can we sort of mathematically create a double just on nothing more than a technical bounce? And ideally, you want to sort of filter out names that can't give you that double on that 38.2 to 50% bounce. Maybe leave those alone. And then more importantly with the little old lady, it's really a function of what's the size of your portfolio and how much of the portfolio are you going to risk on any one idea. And do you remember what my two rules of investing are?
Yeah. No more than 5% of your portfolio. Um, and so and then trade with an algorithmic approach.
So that was rule number two, you said first, and then rule number one, you said
One.
second. But that's
Yeah.
fine as long as you got the rules right.
Yeah.
That's all that
Sorry.
matters.
Trade with an
So,
algorithmic approach, and then never risk more than 5% of your hard-earned money on one
right.
idea.
So you could take your portfolio and you could say, all right, what is 5% of my portfolio? And just go and buy whatever 5%. Let's say you're working with, I don't know, $10,000. How much is 5% of $10,000?
500.
All right. So you just go buy $500 worth of this. Boom, done. That was pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
And, if it goes off the board, it goes off the board. But if it does go off the board, your whole portfolio isn't wiped out. And then, of course, if you can get that double, okay, sell half on a double, get the risk-free trade. And then if you want to go and take that original capital and buy back another car if it comes back down, you can always compound the position. Actually a couple names previous cycles. I'd have like maybe 5, 10 cars because the thing just kept rallying, coming back down. I reload, rally, sell half on a double, come back and reload, rally, sell half on blah 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 blah. Just do it over and over and over. But the point is that at any given point in time, you never want to see more than 5% of your portfolio at risk on any one trade.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what you could do if you want to take a little more aggressive approach is you could take, let's say, $1,000 of that $10,000. And if you're not going to break Brian's two rules of investing, then does it make sense that maybe you take $1,000, you double the bet, but if this thing loses 50% of its value, so you're buying there at 226, so if it falls down to like say $1.10 or something, you walk away.
Yeah.
So this is what the Joe Sixpack kind of approach, where you're going to double the bet size, so you have twice as much in the game. So obviously, if this thing performs, you're going to get twice the punch. But at the same time, too, if it falls by 50%, when I was an options broker, that was just sort of our rule of law, was that you always just risk 50% of your option purchase, whatever trade it is. And if it goes against your 50%, you just walk away. That would be sort of the Joe Sixpack approach. Now you're quote unquote trading this thing versus little old lady just buy and hold. You see the difference?
Yes.
So, and then you could be like crackhead leverage junkie. I don't think any of these, well, maybe KuCoin probably because those Koreans, they're pretty gambly. But I know, for instance, MEXC, that exchange has like leveraged, I don't know whether I want to call them futures, but like forwards contracts. And that gets into leverage trading. We won't go into that today. But that would be sort of the next stage in risk takers, and they're kind of on crack. So if you enjoy the crack lifestyle, okay, fine.
Then this one's for you.
Anyway, so long and short of it here, it's not a terrible idea. You're definitely coming in the bottom of the range. You've got divergence, you got location, you got price structure. So now it's just really a question of you identifying what type of risk taker you are and applying that methodology to how you're going to participate in this market. But it's a
Makes
good
sense.
idea. It's not a bad idea.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you.
Actually, here, so
Well, take a
let's
screenshot of this.
yeah, let's maybe what we'll do is we'll go there to there, and then go there, and we will say confirmed bull div. And yeah, that should work. And then we can get rid of that, and we can say pretty good VC reload zone, maybe we'll call it. VCRLZ.
Oh,
Something like that. So we say, and then we can say, so here we can even paint the W. I think I would prefer to rest down to there. But basically, there's your trade. Simple as that. And what is that? 3.5 to 1. That's pretty good numbers.
I like that.
That's not bad. But I would say that's a pretty good looking. That if I was going to teach a course to the public on how to invest and how to trade, that's exactly what I would try and teach you guys to try and hunt for. So there you go, Merry Fishmas.
Beautiful.
I'll throw the link in the YouTube channel so you guys have that there, and then I also sent the image to you. Do you want the image or do you want the link as well?
Both, please.
Okay, so I gave you the image, and then there's the link. And
Perfect.
then,
I can put the link in the uh, bio, but I can't add an image.
all right. Then what was that other one? INJ.
INJ,
USDT.
USDT, and we did on Binance.
So we. I mean, the problem is you can't. I mean, look at that into that 877. I mean, you can't really buy that
No,
now. It's too late. And
but we
actually,
talked about
this is looking at it on the regular scale. Right? Could you see how out of whack it is?
it. Yeah,
So versus the log scale, um, which is a little easier to understand. But well, what the hell? We'll leave it to your imagination. So let's go copy link. All right, so you have both of them there. I don't know which one actually would be better. What was that one that we had here? It was
it was ELA.
ELA. And what's the fundamental story on this thing? Is the person who asked about this thing, are they here? Are they like creating some sort of new product or something?
Try to see if I can find some.
Or
5 hours ago, they were unveiling a Bitcoin layer 2 network poised to attract billions in BTC volumes through staking tools on the
Alright.
innovative platform.
Have you ever heard me talk about? Actually, this is an interesting one. Where is?
Try to see if I can
Um,
find some. Would have to read their white paper.
all right,
Uh,
don't sweat it, dude. It's no
yeah,
big deal. I was well. Anyway, I'll give you the link copy to this. If you can use that, great. But I guess the one just above it's probably better. Anyway.
perfect.
Okay, I guess we ought to move on to the next one.
Yep. All right. Um, this one we've talked about recently, but maybe we could just touch on it very lightly just to check in and see where we're at from the last time. Litecoin to USDT against Tether. We talked about it. Think like after one of our previous shows, I did go in and little old lady it. Um,
That sounds perverted.
yeah, that does.
Pervert. Okay, where do you want to look at this thing?
Try to crack it.
Binance Future seems to have the heaviest volume here. I'm
Yeah,
just
they do.
oh, look at
Yeah,
this one. This one's pretty heavy. What's that?
BitMEX.
BitMEX?
Yep,
BitMEX. Is they still around?
they are. So they got in a little trouble after was it Sam Reed and
720
Arthur
million?
Hayes had
Yeah.
gotten in a little trouble. They're still around. I know they were bought because it was like owned by, or maybe it was bought out by 100X Group is the name, and they're running it and following all. It's up to code now. I know that
That's a
they got,
lot of volume. 720 million. Wow.
yeah,
Isn't that interesting? Yeah, BitMEX, God, they were Arthur Hayes, God, we used to talk about him on a daily basis.
yeah.
So
I mean,
funny.
they had like offices in Milwaukee. I know too. They were all over back in when I was kind of getting
Not
started.
much data here, though. Let's see if maybe
No,
there's a better place. Polo? Polo's still around. Actually, I got a letter today from Cryptopia. Those guys, they're saying, yeah. And, I hate how they do this. And bankruptcy courts are so notorious for this. They take like 20, 30 years to
oh yeah.
actually settle anything. But I got a letter saying, please log in and confirm your information again. It's like, oh, God, not again. I've complained. That was like 5 years ago.
Yeah,
I can't
they've
remember
been
what the hell
done.
my password is. Anyway, where should we look at this?
Try Binance there.
Yeah, let's do the Binance one down at the bottom. See if we have any more data there. It's a little bit splotchy. Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
So
this is where we looked at it last time. Cool.
yeah. I mean, hopefully you can see there is the bottom. It's pretty
Yep.
straightforward. Um, Interesting thing about this is, if anything, I'd almost prefer to look at it on Polo where you actually get some data. And also too, it's a shame that yeah, see, look at that. You're missing a ton of data here if you don't look at these other sites. So this is to tell you exactly where it's come from. Yeah, this is like 2016. Isn't that interesting? So Tether's actually been around since 2015.
Yeah. Uh, and
Uh,
that maybe even longer. That was it could have been just when we started recording the data.
yeah. So there's your regular chart. Something that actually was kind of interesting that jumped out about this one was the halving event was very, very tepid here.
Hmm.
Really didn't produce a hell of a lot. And that's one reason why maybe a lot of people don't want to hear this, but uh, the people that are relatively new to crypto,
Hmm.
um, they'll be thinking, well, Bitcoin's going to go to $1 million.
Of course.
You do have to sort of ask, is that even realistic given like the numbers and stuff like that? I thought it was interesting, Tyler, I think his name is. I think I always say that. But anyway, the Chico crypto guy.
Yeah.
His upside objective for Bitcoin this cycle is not that high. It's only like 110, 115, $120 thousand. So, if Litecoin is a gauge, this halving event cycle was very, very tepid. Anyway, it was interesting how into these peaks, Charlie got the hell out. And actually, we haven't even really heard about Charlie too much these days.
No.
So I don't even know what he's up to, if he's even in the space anymore. Um, I suppose you could argue that that's sort of a bottom that we were looking at there a few minutes ago. Um, it would be interesting to see what the cost of production of a Litecoin is right now. I don't know whether maybe that's something you can ask the higher ups at Coinigy to sort of embed on the site. Uh, Interesting to see if there's any sort of quick resources that would give us cost of production. No, there used to be lots of people that used to. I mean, look at this. This is how corrupted and bastardized our internet is becoming. I mean, I asked for the cost of production for LTC, and Mr. Internet is assuming that I'm looking for long-term care for Canada. So you can see how the
Yeah.
internet's getting really
And
corrupted
it's
here.
crazy. Oh, yeah, I guess I get one, but yeah, my first It's like LTC, loan to cost ratio, long-term care, AARP, long-term care cost calculator.
Maybe I have to go Litecoin.
Yeah.
Price index. That's, again, this is an interesting commentary where I think that the 1% would like to try and have the public not understand cost of production of cryptocurrencies because of course it doesn't fit their narrative, and you can't
No.
bid prices up to the moon if you're always thinking about what value is. But anyway, yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's
Anyway, if
some.
any of you over there on interneting are familiar with a really quick resource to give the cost of producing what Litecoin is, how do you mine Litecoin? This is how I always suggest you sort of figure out what value is in this space. But it's damn difficult to figure out. It's quite frustrating, really.
Yeah.
And they're trying to move the industry away from POW. And if they do that, then I actually think that that makes crypto kind of worthless. I don't really like the idea of just being POS. I actually think that the whole reason behind crypto is this validation third party service that is completely immutable and it's outside the control of these central bank crooks. And of course, that's the number one reason why they hate it. So anyway, sort of side topic. It'd be interesting to figure out what the cost is to produce one Litecoin right
Yeah.
now if you actually wanted to mine it. Anybody over there on the YouTube channel have that?
Like,
No, nobody here's even saying. Somebody saying CEO of Bitcoin China before
Bobby Lee.
government crackdown. Anyway, technically speaking, uh, unfortunately, and I hate to say it, I think this is what's going to happen to Bitcoin after its halving event sort of rally fiasco. Notice we put a bottom in the market last fall. And I think actually this is about the time when you and I actually started doing. When was that? When did we do our first
Started this back
broadcast?
in end of May.
Oh, okay. So that would be over here.
Yeah.
So I was still doing the broadcast with guys like Ben Kovchek. And Ben actually was super interested in Litecoin. So that was one of the reasons why he really liked it.
Gotcha.
I suppose you could do things like bombs off of this bottoming range. Not quite sure what the best one would be. Maybe something like that. So Chaos 2.618, 4.669, and then where's our 877? There it is, way down there. And then we'll flip this around. Boom, there we go. So this case, you can see we just banged up into 2.618. The halvening event, if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me, maybe you can tell me when the halvening event was, but I think that it was right around here somewhere. And actually, no, it was probably about 2 or 3 weeks after this spike high here. So do we have that?
Litecoin halving was August 2nd, 2023.
Yeah. So August, July, August. Yeah. So right. Oh, interesting. Right there.
Drop, drop,
So
drop.
I hate to say it, but this is exactly what I think is going to happen with Bitcoin. And I think, I did, I don't know whether I can show you this or not. Been sort of conjecturing, what the heck does this halvening event look like? Um, and sort of comparing it from other years gone by. And I do like that. The question is, where the hell's the darn chart? Here we are. I do kind of like this kind of thinking. So we rallied into the halving event. This is exactly what Litecoin did. Like that Litecoin chart. If
Drop.
you look at it, you see the similar pattern here.
Yep.
So very, very similar. So I have a feeling, you get your big spike 2 or 3 weeks ahead of the halvening event. Of course, big orgy. When's the halvening event for Bitcoin this year? I think it's
Mid-April, April
right.
26th, I
And
want to
actually,
say.
this makes sense too. So if we think sort of a month ahead of that event, so let's say like early March, I thought it was interesting that there's a market prognosticator that we like to listen to on this site. He goes by the name of Larry Williams. And this is sort of his kind of forecast for what he expects the stock market to do. But notice this window right here, that's a stock market peak right around, call it the middle of February through to March. So that would align nicely with some sort of top in Bitcoin in February, March, about 1 month ahead of that happening event. Does that make sense?
That does.
So,
Interesting.
actually, and big shout out to Alito on the site helping me. I kind of was crossing my Larry Williams charts references, but you can see what a typical election year looks like in the States. It usually, ironically enough, they're bidding up the stock market since Halloween here, right? And
Yeah.
I think that they're going to keep bidding the market up into early January, early February. And then they're actually going to park the market. And notice this is until August that we actually go back up to those old highs. So I actually think that a large part of 2024 is actually going to be nothing more than a sideways market. And I would expect that out of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's getting bid up just like the stock market, same thing. We're going to hit some sort of exhaustion peak here into January, February. If I understand correctly, there's another plague going around China. So I wouldn't be surprised if that works its way over here and we all get locked in our prison cells again and all that nonsense. Just so you know who stays in power or you know where. Um, so, just be forewarned, people. I really do like the idea of February, March. There is some sort of serious pullback. And ironically enough, the only reason why I'm mentioning this, of course, is because that Litecoin, about a month ahead of its halvening event, it topped out. And then you can see into the halvening event, it was weak. And then that was only kind of like halfway through the correction. And did we, what you might find is that maybe, have you ever heard me say, what should people expect around my birthday? Is my birthday a time when you should
Doesn't
be?
like your birthday.
Yeah. All right, so you know that,
May 11th, right?
right? So I wouldn't be surprised if we're sitting here on my birthday talking about how crypto is really shitty once again. So just be
Yep.
forewarned, everybody. So,
Sell in May and walk away.
well, actually, I don't know whether it's going to be like that this year. I think the problem is that once we're into May, prices are going to be pretty sanguine. And then, kind of like what Mr. Williams is suggesting here, is if we were sort of like, where are you in the middle of May? Notice here is May, June, July. Notice it's just sort of like chop, chop, chop. And then right, through sort of the middle of July, probably following the 4th of July holiday sort of weekend and stuff, there's one more push to the downside. And then, politically, there's actually a very significant event here that happens the end of July, beginning of August, that sort of officially changes everybody's mindset and everybody goes into election mode and actually people stop kind of thinking about the stock market and stuff. And that's the Democratic National Convention. And
Makes
that
sense.
usually happens, I think it's like the first week of August, somewhere in there. And if Joe is planning on being president again, he's up for the job. He'll come out of the gate all full of piss and vinegar, and look at what a wonderful job we've done on inflation, and we got you through the sickness and all that bullshit, blah blah blah, and getting ready for the election, which should happen somewhere around here. And
And the
then once we're
DNC
done the
is
election, there should be another push higher into the end of the year.
The DNC is August 19th to the 22nd.
There you
So,
go. So that would be sort of like in this period here. So you might even find that there's like a big ramp up into that event as people get all excited for politics.
whoa,
Anyway, we'll see what happens. Of course, Mr. Orange Toupee is going to make our lives challenging. So,
buckle up.
well, yeah, exactly. It's about the best thing you can say. Now, in the short term, what do you make out of this? The problem is give me a fundamental reason to belong Litecoin right now. What is it about Litecoin that they do that's extra special and that is makes it different than everything else? I would say there's one thing in particular. Um, Alan
Is it like
wants
they're
to. Sorry.
fast? Isn't it just that it's faster? Um,
Yeah. The question here is, does anybody use Litecoin? And this is where, Alan went and bought Doge, and Doge uses Litecoin to validate its network. So, from that perspective, there still is a use case for Litecoin. I don't know how many other people use Litecoin in the industry. As I said, Charlie Lee himself used to be a really big sort of cheerleader for this idea. But the problem I would have here is, especially with the advent of Solana and stuff like that becoming extremely popular, why would somebody want to use Litecoin? Give me a reason. Like I said, this whole rally last year was all about the halvening event. And fundamentally, the story was shifting. Now that that halvening event has happened, what I want to hear is what is this sort of
what's
Litecoin
it doing?
development plan? And if there
Yeah.
isn't one, well, that could be a bit problematic. And I guess just technically speaking, right, we can all see this is a one directional move, boobity boo. So if we start getting M's and stuff here, you better be careful. We might actually do something like that. And, again, I have to ask, what is the actual cost of production of one Litecoin? So I'm not going to say this is an easy trade here. I mean, I suppose, coming in, buying against the bottom ends of ranges, that is, it's a pretty good looking W down in there. You want to risk to a break of these lows, great. That's basically buying at 60 and risking to 40. That's kind of like your Joe six pack risk model.
Hmm.
Um, but again, I'd have to ask, this is where being rational analyst is so important. I mean, why would you be invested in Litecoin? What is it about Litecoin that they do better than all these others? And, does DeFi come along and eat Litecoin's lunch? Does, the whole DeFi industry make Litecoin sort of irrelevant? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like I said, it would be interesting to do a deep dive, and of course, Ben Kovchek, if you're around and watching this, right? It would be really interesting to do like an update of what you see happening here. What is the development story for Litecoin? What are they doing? What makes them any better than anybody else? So anyway, the point I would just say here is in the short term. The pressures to the downsides, we are coming into, probably if we change this to log, you'll see a bit better. We are coming into support, but give me and if anything, now is probably when we want to look at the indicators. But if we go there up to there. And we will go there and there and there. Yeah, something like that. Oh, and of course it's backwards. Backwards. Right. Yeah, we dipped down, tagged the mountain man. Suppose
Okay.
if we do AB equals CD, obviously that's your linear chart. AB equals CD. If we do it on a log scale, it'll look like that. So that's just basically coming right back down against the bottom here. Interesting sort of apex that we're coming into here, eh? So
Uh,
trend line support, trend line resistance. You can see we went up to really good analogy of why you want to when you draw your trend lines, right? This is just playing connect the dots, dude. You really want to see a W on the other side of the
others.
trend line to validate that that's a bull. And you can see we popped up and then just got bitch slapped back down. Right now we are at the apex of this trendline confluence. I don't know what you want to call it there. And, really, I would want to see this thing pop up through the top there. But given the moving average resistance, trendline resistance, this is going to be a tough, tough slog here. And if anything, what you really want to see, so you want to see some W's on the other side of this trend line. Incredible how powerful that trend line is, eh?
Yeah.
So where are the W's? So we rallied up, got bitch slapped right off of it and rejected, rallied up again, got bitch slapped off of it. If you're a bull, you really want to see price above this trend line and putting in some sort of W. Like if you can get it like that, then woohoo! This is all open air up here.
Yeah.
But right now, this is an incredibly difficult spot. So,
Gotcha.
uh, uh, would I make the bull case for buying this right now? I don't think so. If I look at momentum, oh boy. So you see the push to new highs here into that halvening event. Notice MACD. It did not push to new highs, not even close. So, remember we were all bullish here last year. Can you see the bullish divergence in the MACD
Yep.
here? So there was justification to be bullish coming out of here. But now on this push into and remember, there's no fundamental catalyst here now. Like, what's the fundamental reason for this to go? And with this momentum push here, that momentum pushes to the downside, not the upside. So, yeah, this is looking tough. I would say, if anything, what I'd want to see is I'd want to see them actually push price here through these lows, but don't have MACD go to new lows. So, maybe we do this AB equals CD, price comes all the way down here, but MACD sort of swoons and it does something like that. So then that creates the divergence, which would set up this scenario over here, which gave us a reason to be bullish.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, I don't know what to say to you other than there's no way I could buy this here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this needs some more time to clean itself up, unfortunately. And I'd probably keep an eye, especially like this tail here. Notice this tail, right? There's a whole bunch of trap bears in there that would love to get released. And right up, candle body lows for trade location. So I'd actually keep an eye on this. I think I said to you before, 78.6. For some reason, quite often what I've found in my career is the market will actually come down. It will bottom off of that 78.6. And down the road, you look back and go, damn it, man, it's bottomed right off that 78.6 level. So if I was a predicting man, this is sort of what I would predict. And on this event, this push to new lows, we set up a bull div on the MACD, something like that. So then the divergence comes in on this move up here. The market tests the low and holds it, and then W's, and then we're off to the races. But that's going to be a lot of work. Notice, look at that. All of that would take us all through April, all through July, right? Which lines up perfectly with Mr. Williams and the market breaking out sort of the end of July, beginning of August. Do you see how that all kind of lines up together?
I do.
So it's not an accident. I wouldn't be surprised if the next few months are going to be a bit of a slog and this thing goes and bottoms out so that when we come out of the summer there and everybody's in rally mode, this thing also is put in some sort of bottom. And, the interesting thing is of course, if Mr. Trump does win, that the whole damn market just went absolutely crazy bullish in 2016 when he won that election. So maybe it's history repeating itself. It's setting itself up for some horrendous rally should he win next November. Could be. I think, ironically enough, probably the most important thing is that the government be broken up, right? When government is all one direction. So, back there a couple of years ago, we had like the Republicans were literally run out of Washington. And that was the first Obama administration. And of course, the market was just absolute disaster
Hmm.
in like 2010, 2011, 2012, right? Um, then through the sickness and them kicking Trump out the first go round, the socialists, the Democrats came all charging into power together. The market was shit, right? Of course, the Fed had to come and bail everything out and just start printing money like crazy. And of course, now we live in this hyperinflation world. So the Fed coming along and printing money like a drunken whore is not the solution. Anyway, point of the matter here is I think that the US market got a lot happier. And actually, we did a correlation study. You can see that the US market went into rally mode really, really strong, literally as soon as the Democrats lost control of the US House. So, as long as power is split in Washington, that's a
Uh-huh.
good sign for the markets. That's a good sign for the capitalist. It's a good sign for what we do. It's a good sign for business. Uh, if you come to a country like China, where it is a totalitarian dictatorship and there is no back and forth, the government is in total and complete control and they dictate policy. You look at the Canadian equity market, I mean, how many people can invest in crypto here with this jerk making these sort of dictatorial Castro type policies? You Canadians, you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that, that kind of stuff.
So what exchanges are allowed in Canada at the moment?
That's a damn good question.
Like
And
what's going?
frankly, you don't want to trigger me. I'm trying to stay polite and I'm trying to stay relatively jovial through this. I got a little bit tripped up there. I started and I saw your eyes go, oh, Jesus, here he goes. So let's maybe just get off that topic altogether
All
because you
right,
don't want to trigger
we'll
Brian
move
and
on
get
to
him
the
all
next
upset.
one.
But I can tell you it's limited. And the son of a bitch is actually saying things like, you Canadians are only allowed to invest X amount of money in crypto. Anything over that, and you are breaking the law. So, I mean, what's the definition of communism? I mean,
That
holy crap. I mean, who is this guy telling me what I can do with my hard earned money? It's terrible. So, anyway, the point being that what we really want, if we are market participants, if we're capitalists, rah, 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 capitalism, we want government to get the hell out of our lives. And we want them to be gridlocked. And if Washington is split between the Democrats and the Republicans, and it just sounds like it's just typical politics, gridlock, nothing happens, then that should put a big smile on all of our faces.
gotcha.
And the good part about it, of course, here is that Canada is really kind of a afterthought, and if anything, Canada is really setting itself up for a lot of problems here going forward. And theoretically, Canada should be the United States' little cousin. So if we do have a big sort of shift, move towards the right, away from this absolute socialist insanity that we've had to go through over the past 4 years, Canada should follow suit. So anyway, we'll see what happens.
To be determined.
Yeah, definitely.
So we got another one. It is I IMX.
Indigo, Michael, X-ray.
Yes, sir.
Where do we want to look at this
Immutable.
one?
And then to USDT
USDT.
and then
Notice
Coinbase.
the site's actually very fast tonight, so you guys
Yeah.
did something here.
Yep.
It's nice
All
and
right.
crisp.
So we third one down. Let's try Coinbase.
Coinbase. Interesting. That's only five. That's less than a million. Oh, there it is. 14 million on Polo? Wow, that's
Must be
quite a
pushing.
difference. Isn't that incredible? The difference in volumes here.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, you want Coinbase?
Yes,
Coinbase it
please.
is. The only problem with here is you might not have that much data, right? And if we really want to do, wow, well, hopefully everybody looks at this and says there's one letter of the alphabet that seems to be jumping out at us.
Nice W.
Yeah. This is actually a really good example of W's within W's. So I don't know whether you can see this. There's a
Yeah.
cute little W right there. This is like ideal because hopefully what you see here is that anybody who tried to drive this thing down into the ground,
Got
somebody
stomped
stepped
on.
up and said, "No more down, you
Yeah,
bastards,
we
go
want up.
up."
We want up.
Actually, and this is the exact opposite of what I showed you in the stock market earlier. Remember I showed you that image in the stock market? So if you look at the stock market, that was this image. Nope, not that image. And that was a pretty big break here. But where the hell was that? Yeah. No, do you see? And this is why this trade was so powerful. Is do you see the little M's that
Hmm.
actually define the big M's eyes? Do you see that?
Yeah,
Incredibly powerful signal. I mean, and the proof of the pudding's in the eating. What do you think? Was that a pretty big move?
it was.
Kaboom! Could you have made a couple bucks on maybe going
Yeah.
short a couple contracts in there? I mean,
Yes, you
holy
could.
Shiite Muslim. So, that's basically the exact opposite of what you're seeing here. So, if all
Hmm.
those M's and stuff are bearish, what do all these W's have to imply?
Real bullish.
Yeah, that's an interesting. And this is a weekly price chart we're looking at. So that means that really we could change this to a monthly chart. And hello, look at that
All
big
right.
fat W on the monthly price chart. Wow. That's significant. Somebody's putting in a major base here. What do these guys do? IMX. Who is this?
Let's see. Give me 1 second.
This is a monthly chart.
They are the future of gaming awaits, built with unmatched speed, scale, and flexibility using immutable, simple end-to-end Web3 solutions. Fuel your game's growth and captivate players like never before.
That sounded like propaganda to me.
Yeah, I'm just reading their website. So that we are bringing digital ownership to the world via NFTs.
Actually, somebody
Immutable.
just built an NFT for me on the Solana network. I have to get off my butt and
Interesting.
figure out how to do the Solana network now.
It's yeah. So the mission is to bring global ownership to every player by making it safe and easy to build great
Look at these
Web3 games.
numbers. Holy Shiite Muslim. So here we are at $1.60. 2.618 is basically 10x from where we are on this monthly chart. Holy moly. 4.669 is $145. That's like 100x. Jesus H Christ. What the hell is this thing? Huh. Now that's something worth paying attention to. We should probably bring this to the community's attention. Look at these W's too. Wow. And look at
Yeah.
this. This is, oh my God, this is ridiculous. Look how this is. Remember, we said these big W's were inside an even bigger W, right? And look
Mhm.
at this little W right here, right
Yeah.
down at the bottom of this big W here. Isn't that incredible? So, if you want to, like, well, I want one image that tells me exactly where I am supposed to buy. I'll tell you, that's it right there, folks. God, I can't believe how incredible. I don't think I've ever seen a chart look so perfectly defined like this. Obviously, I I mean that's a problem, right? Is that buy there's at 57 cents.
Yeah.
That is the buy. If anybody ever tells, and like this is a good example. Sjord, he's a TRI CTO, and I would actually consider him like TRI's crypto expert. The guy's an absolute genius. Um, and he got in on Luna at like about 50 cents. And I don't know whether you remember that one. That one went up to
Oh
over
yeah.
$100. Um, I might argue that that's basically that same image. And look at this. This is so absolutely textbook. What happens if we do like a reload zone here? I mean, yeah, you take a screenshot of this, folks. I mean, this is basically everything that if you want to learn. I remember we used to have this one guy who literally watched all of my videos and took notes just like feverishly. And he wrote
This,
like literally an entire textbook on how to trade just based off of the notes. You got one too, eh?
you know it. I take
And
notes every time we do this show.
I mean, do you
Add to
see
them.
this? Look at that. That is absolutely textbook. If I was going to do something stupid like teach a course on how to invest and how to trade, I mean, that's basically it there, right in a nutshell. Can you define like the perfect trade? And it's right there. Now, it'd be interesting to see whether we have a bullish divergence on momentum here. Well, you can see the MACD histogram slowly making higher lows, even though price was making, especially look at this, right? My price is making lower lows here, and MACD was making higher lows here. Willie was officially stupidly oversold. Look at that W on Willie too, right there. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. In fact, actually, we have a setup. Did you ever talk to Da Vinci? Do you ever remember meeting him? I don't know whether you ever met him or not.
I've talked with him. Yeah.
Yeah. So when he was on the site, and he was a student of ours years ago, I put a challenge to all site members, right? Try and figure out setups that work for you. Um, and my challenge to everybody, although where did all my indicators go? What did I do here? Anyway, oh, I guess they're all here. Um, was create indicators that you like, and sort of concepts. And one concept that he absolutely fell in love with, and we ended up actually building a screener on the site specifically called the Davo. Where's the RSI? There it is. And really, what you're looking for is the Davos. What you're looking for. Remember, we said there was a W in price right there, right? So
Hmm.
notice there's a W in OBV right there. There's a small W in MACD right there. Look at that W in the Willie indicator right there, and look at the W in RSI right there. So again, this is another excellent example of what does a really good buy look like. Um, if you can, if you can get location, and wow, reload zones. I mean, that's absolutely perfect. And then you can look down at your indicators. You can see indicators are making, or prices making lower lows, but the indicators have stopped making lower lows. In fact, they're even making higher lows. And then you look down at things like, we can put the whole Willie indicator on here. Yeah, it looks like that. So if you can see W's here, W's here, W's here, that's a Davo. Davo, Davo, Davo. Anyway, and wow, one hell of a freaking signal, eh? Holy moly. So,
Yeah.
how do you approach this now?
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, you heard me going a little bit crazy there about the monthly W here. I mean, this would be one where I would be like pullbacks are buying opportunities. So I would say something like maybe draw a simple trend line. Notice that right there, right?
Okay.
Then we could uh, maybe drag this up now because this is now our reload zone. So we do that. And notice the reload zone didn't move a hell of a lot, eh?
No.
Still this basically the same level. And then, hey, there's Brian's favorite fib. It is basically the W level. Isn't that incredible? So, maybe if you can, remember China. I don't know whether I can or not, but see if you can like work open orders right around. It looks like about 50, 60 cents. This thing looks like it's a buy. Um, I suppose also too. Well, I mean, there's a number of things. You could probably just like sprinkle a bunch of stink bids in here, and you don't really know how much this is going to correct. Ideally, you'd like to see reload zone pullbacks, tests of trend lines, but it doesn't have to do that. First things first, I would be saying at any given point in time, you should expect 38.2 retracements.
Yeah.
So that's probably a good level to maybe start thinking about bids, right? And I might even just suggest maybe just sprinkle a bid, right? One at 38.2, one at 50%, one at 61.8, one at 78.6, one at 88.6. If all of them get filled, maybe your average buy is right around 61.8. If it, this, because this W is in place and that looks extremely bullish off the higher time frames, you might find that this thing only bots out. So maybe that's
So,
trend continuation. We never do any of this stuff. We want a minimum of 33%, no more than 66. So, maybe we start pulling back into here. We get that 38.2, and then we start the process of carving out some sort of consolidation, setting up for the next leg.
and
So, in
you
the
would move
short
your
term,
bot to scratch.
pardon me?
And you would move your stop to scratch, right? On the bot setup.
Okay.
Sorry, I was just reading my notes from it. So if you take
Well,
the bot setup
what level of the
at
bot trade
50%,
would you move your stop to scratch? That's the question.
50%.
So, what that would mean is you take the original measurement tool, you're going to drag it over to wherever the third, lower low is. So, that's sort of the bottom of your consolidation. Then you're going to throw on your bot trade levels. So that's the 25, 50, and 66. I want to make sure that they are ordered correctly. So notice if this was the consolidation and it's set up like this, then really what I would want to do is I would ideally like to get long off of that breakout there, three higher lows. Um, this would be called front running the bot because that's the bot trade level right there. You'd actually be long from a little bit lower than the bot, taking a little bit of a chance here that the bot level is tripped up. In this case, it is. Woohoo. So then there is the 50%, and you can see how we eyeballed this. What this would really be is if we did rally up here and then failed, this might be turning into a big happy face, right? So you don't really want to be in this if it goes and craps out, makes an M, because that's maybe a new bear market. So that's why a test of whatever this high is, following a consolidation here, just so happens quite often it does line up with that 50% level. So on half of the anticipated move, the 50% level, you move your stop to the bot entry level. In this case, if the market did crap out there and we broke down, um, say we went like that, we came down, you got stopped out at 25 because you went long here, you actually would still have a small profit from the trade. It would be a very small profit, but nonetheless, it's better than just scratch. So,
Gotcha.
anyway, so just to say 50% move stop to scratch, it's probably important to put it all into
In
context.
context, I see what you mean now. I was just
Uh,
trying to help me better understand it. I did have a
sure.
question when you said that you'd put in some stink bids at like 61.8 and like 50% and 38 and then like the 38.2.
Yeah.
So given the you're not risking more than 5% on any one idea, so does that mean like you'd be kind of splitting up that five, say you
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
like
Yeah. So,
50
like
or
you could
$50,
go
you would just split
1%
that up.
here, 1% here,
Gotcha.
1% here, and
Gotcha.
maybe 1% here if you felt like it. And then maybe even do one right off of the bottom, 1% down here. And so if this thing does come careening down and wash out all of those weak hands, Ding, 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 ding. You get 1% fill, 1% fill, 1% fill. Are you breaking Brian's two rules of investing if you got filled one, two, three, four, five?
Nope.
Right. And this would give you probably a nice average cost, maybe somewhere in there, which isn't bad. So this is a really sort of easy, keep it simple, stupid. Don't overthink this. Like I'm not going to try and time the market. I love this whole reload zone concept, and I don't want to chase. We got to stop chasing. I have to force myself to buy down markets. We kind of know what sort of January, February, March is going to look like. There is going to be some sort of pullback, so I want to take advantage of that to get in this name. And frankly speaking, I think I'm going to actually myself try and do this because that monthly chart, holy crap, you just don't see that every day, folks. I mean,
No.
this is the good part about TA is that, I don't have to bullshit with you people. Either the chart looks great and it's like, oh my goodness, I gotta buy this damn thing, or the chart looks like shit and I don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's it. Like I said, that if anything, that's the liberating thing about technical analysis is that there is no shill. There is no BS. It's either it is making W's, and this by definition is telling you that it is no longer trending lower highs and lower lows. It is trending higher highs and higher lows. That's the liberating part about TA is that nobody can sit and just bullshit you some crazy ass story. Everything is there in the charts. It's as plain as day.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Tell you that's you just don't see that every day. I mean, I can show you like the Facebook chart of when it put in a monthly double bottom. Do you want to see how many millions of X goes that is? Or
Yeah.
like, Tesla or something. I mean just for fun. And I'll use this site because you guys can't do stocks on your site, right?
Yes,
So,
sir.
if we just go TSLA, I don't know if you want to see all Brian's commentary on this. I'm sure it's probably filled with mess. But if we go to like a monthly price chart, boom. Sure why we're on Python. Don't need to be there. There we go. I mean, where is the monthly bottom? It ain't up here, folks. That's as plain as day. It's down here. This is a monthly price chart. So, would you have had the fortitude to step up and buy Tesla when it was making these W's on the monthly price chart at $2 a share? Would that have been a pretty good idea?
I would say so.
you know so and here we are, made all the way up to 400 frickin' dollars a share. And what letters of the alphabet do you see here? Do you see W's? I
That's
don't.
a
I see a big
M.
fat
It
M.
smiled at you.
Right. On the way up here you have to have the patience and discipline to just keep riding your free position. Every time it doubles you want to sell some more, great, but you don't want to be a buyer through all this insanity, because this is what you're going to walk into. Boom, get your head handed to you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's do Facebook, same sort of thing. I honestly, people, like the biggest message that you got here tonight was where, find these. Remember, you've heard me barking about weekly W's. How about monthly W's? I mean, can you see this? It's pretty obvious exactly where you were supposed to buy Facebook, right there. So if you were long Facebook here, what is that? That's $32.50 a share right there. And actually, this is a really good anecdote of why I don't like the IPO market, because usually the IPO market, they bring the stocks out at about 2 or 3 times what they're worth. And I remember when this happened, everybody on the street, I was a broker through all this, everybody on the street was like, literally, they brought the stock out, they IPO'd it at like 4 times book, which is ridiculously overpriced. So what did the stock do right out of the gate? It collapsed basically in half. Boom. See you later.
Boom. It's like
In comes the
Coinbase.
monthly double bottom. The rest is history. I don't know. Would you be happy to be long from $20 a share on this thing?
Nice. Yeah,
All
that would
right.
be pretty cool.
Was there? I thought there was one. There was. Oh yeah.
Please.
Let's take a look
Oh,
at this
yeah. Cool.
beloved darling. I don't know. Do you
So,
see anything? Monthly price chart. As you can see, Brian's slightly active here.
yeah. So I thought I was a genius by like not buying right away there and like when it first came out and when it got that bottom end of that dip there.
Well,
Uh
but hopefully you can see the monthly W down here, right?
yeah.
So, is this the same sort of scenario where this damn stock, there is the monthly W? This thing's a buy from what, 80, $86 a share. Are we going to be looking back 5, 10 years from now? This thing hundreds and hundreds and maybe thousands of dollars a share and go, gee whiz, I sure wish I bought that monthly W.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how incredibly powerful this is. This has got to be the theme of tonight, folks. That is one hell of a price chart. I can't. It's too bad there's no way you can make money on just letting the world know that this thing actually has put in this monthly W. I mean, it just doesn't. You really should put this in your newsletter and tell your audience, like, holy crap on a stick.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen very often, folks. And look at these numbers. These numbers are insane. 4.669 is $135, and here we are at like $2.
Yeah.
That's insane. I mean, does anybody want to get rich? It's up to you. I'm not gonna, okay. I think I've talked this thing into the ground.
Yeah. Well,
Damn.
beautiful.
What
Damn,
time
that's
is it?
right.
Look at that. What time is that saying? 6:36. All right, we got 25 minutes left.
All right. So, well, thank you for that. I loved hearing your enthusiasm uh about
I
seeing that
I gotta
monthly
fucking go
W.
buy some of this myself. God damn,
Yeah.
son. In fact, actually, we should be telling. Where's that Fjord guy? Fjord. I'm telling you, man. We need to get in on this thing. Wow. Like, what? The Simpsons when the guy goes, "That Millhouse, he's gonna be big. Gabby
Yeah.
Hayes big." You ever heard that line?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Gabby Hayes big.
That's
Holy
funny.
shit! I can't believe this chart. Damn.
Yeah. Adam says unreal with that.
Yeah, well, yeah. And Adam, I was even talking about Adam. My hunch here, Joe, is Adam, if he keeps his nose clean and he just does exactly what he does, and I think he's actually a really, really good person, a good candidate for this. Adam could be an extremely wealthy gentleman by the end of all of this. I see big things for Adam. All he's got to do is, and the thing is he has a really, really good spirit. He's
Love
got
it.
really good intentions.
And he's our
All he's
biggest
got to
fan.
do, he's got the skill set now. I mean, you've interacted with him. I mean, do you fancy him a pretty nice guy?
Oh, he's a fantastic human being.
Yeah, I'm telling. I
He's
mean,
always our hype guy. He's always
I'm
here
not.
for us.
I'm not half as good as these people that are at TRI. They're much, much better people than I am. I'm here to help you all.
Says something
And
about them.
pardon?
Which says something about them because you're a great person.
Well, these. Oh, thanks, Joe. I appreciate the kind words. But Adam, I tell you, Adam, he could make a big dent in this world if he just keeps himself focused. Don't get sucked
Beautiful.
up into the euphoria. Anyway, I
So,
do all of you. I do yourself a favor. I mean, considering this thing's only a couple bucks, I mean, hell, I might even just go buy some now just to make sure I have some on the books. I don't know where the hell this thing's going, but holy crap. Monthly W's, you don't see that every day. All right, let's maybe move on to the next one
cool.
here.
Well, we got the
And Dishy here, of course, is saying that the market cap and coins in circulation is going crazy. So I have no idea, but what I would just simply say is monthly W's. They speak louder than anything else. You don't see that shit every day.
awesome. All right. So we have two left. It is FTM and NOIA. Whichever
Okay,
one
what do
you
you want me to
like.
do?
Let's take a look at FTM. We've talked about it in the past.
FTM. Actually, you
So
know
I should
what? Before I can't get over this chart. Holy crap! I gotta post this in the lounge. Like, wow. You know, it's not every day that you get Brian like freaked out like this, eh?
yeah.
That doesn't happen very often. So you've definitely got my attention. Holy moly. Okay, what was that one again? Sorry, FTM?
Yeah,
And
slash
where's this?
USDT.
Huh?
Versus Tether.
USDT. All right.
All right.
And where do we want to look at this
Take a look
thing?
on Binance.
Binance.
Bottom.
All the way down here, right? Geez,
Yep.
689 million? Ay, caramba. Is this God, I remember FT. I remember fan. Whoa, here, look, here's another monthly W trying to come in. The only problem is this one's a bit old. Right? And if anything, this is what everything else looks like. So hopefully you can see why when I see a W at the bottom end of the range, I freak out. This one here, oof. Well, I mean, actually, you should be able to look at this and be able to tell me exactly what's on my mind here. What do you think I'm thinking?
Want to see the W confirmed?
Yeah, well, it would be nice to see that W. Maybe something like trend continuation.
Yeah.
So there up to there. I guess this is log scale. So it just goes to show how really incredible that last name was. Sorry, I just can't get over this. I'm just beside myself. But this is on a regular scale. Like if we, or log scale, if we go to regular scale, it looks like that, eh?
Yeah.
So again, yeah, probably not a good idea to chase this. But I mean, I can't get over this. Oh, that's so funny. Okay, back to work here. Sorry about that. Okay, let's get. Oh, where were we? Binance, right? We're looking at. Oh, then interesting. Oh, there's Binance there. Uh-oh. Now I screwed everything up.
There we go.
Oh, there we
The
go.
wrong gate.
Okay, so, you know, if anything, this is the scary part because when you look at a chart like this, you kind of think, okay, well, that's down at the bottom end of the range. But then you go and look at the log scale and you go, actually, oh, it's not really at the bottom end of the range, is it? So this is one that I wouldn't call this value. I would call this that trend continuation. But also be interesting too. This is Gate.io that I had here. Eh? You said we want to be on Binance. Yeah. So I don't know what the data is prior to this. I don't know if there's any way we can see. You know, maybe Polo has a bit more data. Let's see
Let's
anything over
see.
there. And you know, not a bad idea if you are looking at
No,
these.
that was
No.
when it started. Was back in November of 2018. So about
Yeah, just
one
trying
of
to
those
see if
started.
anybody has any more data. So yeah, looks like Binance is probably the best one here. That's Binance
Yeah.
futures, eh? So anyway, there's Binance itself.
So
So
Binance has it go back to its
yeah,
inception.
so those other exchanges, all they're showing you is this, and this is why it's so dangerous if you can't get all of the data. Because like if you
Yeah.
look at this on Polo, you'd go, "Oh, hey, yeah, that looks like that's at the bottom of the range. It's found a bottom. It's just going to go straight up from here." But that's not actually the case, is it?
Nope.
Actually, the bottom's all the way down here. So really, really important that if you're going to do some TA, try and find the most data possible. And I don't even know if this is all the data or
Not quite.
not. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is if I was going to analyze this and I wanted to trade this, I don't really think that this is value. I think value, believe it or not, just based off what I see here, is this inside bar right there. That's a pretty little harami, bull rami, whatever you want to call it, right there. And that's at 0.0053. So here we are at 45. That's basically 10x off of those lows. So
Yeah.
just understand what you're getting involved with here, people. Now, What is the name of the setup that I like to use to trade trending markets, trend continuation markets?
Is that the bot?
Right. So I want to see at least a 33% correction. We got that. Don't want to see anything more than 66. Looks like we're there. Okay, there. I'd like to see three higher lows. So we've got one low. We've got two lows. Wouldn't mind seeing a third. This is a monthly price chart, so maybe we'll go back to like a weekly chart and see what we have to work with there. All right, so there is the base. Also, too, and actually a lot of site members have been really enjoying this, is if you're going to trade the bot, try and work with a trend line that's been broken and you get like W's on other sides of trend lines. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. That looks legit. We have a break here. I'd like to see a W on the other side of that, and I think that's what this whole pattern is here. Ideally, we would love to have seen, it's kind of a shame it didn't, but we would have liked to have seen like down, kind of like that other name we were just looking at a second ago, and Brian getting all
Sure, you would like to
crazy.
see that
Would have
again.
liked to have seen something like
Further,
that, right?
something tells
Um,
me you'd like to see that again.
but, at this point, I guess what bothers me here a little bit about this particular one is, if we just play connect the dots, what does this is like the market structure trend line. So if we go there to there, and I want to make sure that is the actual highest point. Also, really don't like the big railroad tracks up here. This clearly says somebody put a top in this market up here. So
Makes sense.
um, that's a pretty firm top. And this trend line, I think that trend line is going to be an absolute brick wall of resistance when we get up to it. So where is that now? Uh, and actually, this might be a really good analogy of the 50% rule with the bot. So I would imagine that this right up here is going to be a brick wall. So let's see where 25 and 50 and all that stuff lines up. So there's your base. It's not a bad looking W. Like I said, we are on the other side of this trend line. So interesting how you can see the open air here. So then we can go boom, boom, boom. And of course, flip that around. Boom. Whoops. Oh, something weird happened there. Let's try that again. Oh, there we go. So, yeah, interesting. So, the 25 level is all the way up here. If we do W out here, you could, like, this would be an example of front running the bot. If you bought that W2 lows, I would ideally like to see, I think I showed you on that monthly chart, I'd actually like to see one more dip against that bottom and then turn back up there. That would be great. And then that would give me 1, 2, 3 solid lows to work with. So it's a little bit splotchy. Having said that, if that wide W did come in and you're like, well, Brian, I really love these W's and I really like the fundamentals of this story. All right, I suppose I could live with that. But if we did things like chaos theory, if this W actually does confirm, where's that going to take us? So we'll go there up to there. And then it's weird how these, where is the drawing tool? Oh well. So we want to go boom and boom and boom and boom and boom and where's our 88.6? Well, there's 88.7, so we'll use that. Okay. And of course that's backwards, so let's flip it around. Boom. All right, so 2.618, interesting how that is the 50% level. So what this is kind of saying to me is if we can go and W out here, and it would be nice to see some momentum indicators and that kind of stuff. If we can break out here, we're going to take a serious run at that trend line. We should probably come up and kiss the 2.618. And if we can break out through these highs, then this thing's got some legs, right? We would ideally love to see a pullback and then a market structure on the other side of this trend line, something along those lines, which would of course set up a bullish bot in itself to take us up top here. And of course, if we hit that 50% level on the 2.618, then we get to move our stop up to here. And as long as we don't go back below that trend line, we stay above here, then you stay in the trade until we get up top here. So I could see that. It's not outlandish, I suppose. You know, at this point right here, you can see we don't even have a confirmed bullish divergence here yet in momentum. We had a little bit of W's there in some of the momentum oscillators here. Potential Davo kind of price action if you're a fan of Davos. And that, basically would be off of right there, thereabout, somewhere in there. We'll go with that candle there. So that means that you would, the aggressive trader would be coming in and buying this little W down in here. And actually, from a trader's perspective, that's a pretty good risk window. You can see that this low actually did not go through these lows. So if you saw those momentum indicators and you're like, it looks like this is a bit of a reversal. We went down, we went up, we went down. We did not go to new lows. We took out this high here, so that's a buy signal right there. And, like I said, all of our momentum indicators, they all turned up right on that date right there. And this is a weekly chart. So we could go down to a daily chart and just see exactly what that looked like right there. There's probably a half decent little bottom. You can see some volume is starting to pour in here. So there must have been some sort of fundamental event here. And of course, this is this eclipse window. Like, I don't know what happened. It was the weirdest thing. But we went through an eclipse event there.
It shut everything up.
Pardon?
And then after that, everything started going up.
Literally. So there was clearly something significant that happened to us as a species through that window. And I've noticed that the 1%, they like to use these kind of eclipse windows and Jupiter Saturn crosses and conjuncts and all that kind of crap to time their activities. So, off of the daily chart, it kind of just V bottom straight up here, eh? That would have been a tricky one. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That would have been difficult to get into. And as we had said there a moment ago, this was the second low. So there was a low, then we rallied away, then we came back down and tested the low. Come on, platform, you can do it. Backfill, backfill. There we go, thank you. So there is the original low. That would have been tricky to get in there. I mean, you can see, look at this beautiful. This is what you ideally like to see to set up a trade. Can you see how the market put in a V bottom, went screaming up, then came down, and look at this pretty little W right here, right?
Beautiful.
So that is like absolutely like if you want to take a screenshot, what do I ideally want to see to actually take a risk in the marketplace? Yeah, come on.
Nice W.
Right, let's just get rid of that. Off? No. Off? No, I don't want to go off. All right. Anyway, you can see the W right there. So absolutely beautiful risk window. So it looks like they just literally brought it right back down to the original lows. But interesting how this time it was just straight up. They didn't even give you a very half decent entry there. Kind of bastards. If anything, what I would like to see here, right, to get that third low, I'd actually like to see this thing roll over, test the bottom, and do something along these lines again. Like, actually, you can kind of see how history is repeating itself. So do you see how we had, spike up, slam down, V bottom up. So we have
Yep.
spike up, slam down, V bottom. And right to set up the trade, we wanted to see a pullback against the original bottom and then give us that nice pretty consolidation to set up the buy. So here, want to see it pull back against the bottom, put in a nice consolidation, which gives us our third higher low for the bot, and should give us a really, should give us a really pretty entry. So I guess the way that I'm looking at this guy is this would be a momentum play. You're not really buying value. The thing's already moved 10x up off of the bottom. You are playing momentum. You're playing the story. It is kicking butt. They've reinvented the wheel. Next best thing since sliced bread. What you're looking for, I mean, if you really want to fine tune this, whatever the rally that is happening here is, maybe we go up and we confirm this W. I don't know. But whatever the rally is here, you're just going to want to draw your reload zones and just be darn patient and just wait for that pullback. And, let's assume that this is the high. I don't know. I mean, I was quite surprised to see the way the stock market broke there. We might have seen a local high here for all these risk assets. But if we just do something as simple as reload zones, um, and I like this approach because it really keeps you honest. And you don't have to do a lot of thinking. You just pull up the chart and go, well, am I in a reload zone? No, I'm not. All right, put the chart away. So you can see, look at that. Actually, I'm getting pretty good at this job, eh?
Yeah. It's almost like you've been doing it for 30 plus years.
So, that's what I want to see. If I want to buy, that's what I want to see. As simple as that.
Beautiful.
So, all right. So let's take a screenshot of this one, and we will add it to the pile. But if I was looking for an entry, I'm looking for something along these lines here going
Beautiful.
forward. Copy link, and I'll paste that. Oh, where are you? You're over here.
I'm right here.
Okay. What time is it? Well,
It's
we
seven
got three
o'clock
minutes
here.
to do one more. Oh, isn't that weird? Oh, it didn't. Oh, it's still copying the link. So we gotta wait. Okay,
There
let's
we
try it
are.
now. Does it work? Nope. Let's try that again. Delete that. I think Joe has gotten the message about that monthly W. I don't think we need to blitz him anymore on that.
I love it.
But this one here, let's try this again. So copy link. Copy, copy, copy. Notice, I think what ends up happening is if I do lots and lots of charts, I guess it's just trying to save everything that I
Yeah,
do. So after a while, it just gets a little bogged down.
definitely. But we can hold off on it. But wow, what a show. I'm so glad that I was able to witness your reaction of pure joy seeing that.
See, I
It
mean, with
couldn't
damn
help but
monthly
just put a big
W's.
smile on my face. I'm sure everyone else is here. So we all love to see that. We love seeing an ecstatic Brian Beamish.
Yeah, well, if you can get a technician excited, yeah, you've done something. Because
On
I think
something
I've told
good.
you before, 99%, 99.999% of ideas that are thrown at me, I just have to go, no, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
No, not interested.
And
Sorry, just not interested. You know what
understandable.
I want to give you this link. I'm not quite sure why I can't get this link. Anyway, I suppose we can circle back around and I'll post this in the room. But what I'll do is let's just open up a new
So
tab so we don't lose that
that
image.
one I'll tip my hat to Crypto Krill on that. So if you're out there
Yeah.
watching right now, Crypto Krill, we appreciate your support one on social media there, but and for bringing that one to our attention. I think, yeah, it was only Crypto Krill that gave that one. So, job well done.
All right. So, shall we leave it at that? Do we
I
want to
think
do, was
so.
there one more? I thought, or I guess it
Oh,
is top of the hour, so we could probably leave it at that. Probably we should throw in a shill here.
let's do it.
Um,
Take us
so,
home.
um, we have a page here, and by all means, maybe you can include this in the video
It's in the
description.
description right now. So if you guys
Oh,
scroll
you're
down,
awesome.
you guys should be able to see that.
Excellent. Yep, there it is. Don't forget to register and TRI. You can actually come on TRI and do a free trial just to kick the tires, learn a little bit more about us as a community, and watch some of our daily videos and stuff. But basically, we've taught, geez, I'd say thousands of people how to basically run a business of trading with the expectation of actually making a profit. I mean, that's the important thing here. Anybody can tell you just to buy or sell things, but can you actually build a plan where you expect to make money from your plan? We have many different levels to our education program. You can get up and running as a sort of a little old lady with a basic investment plan that sort of outlines who you are and some basic technical setups, the bot, the L-tangonators I've told you about, and understanding how you could set up a model as a little old lady or Joe Sixpack kind of thing with our level one. Level two, a little bit more advanced, get into more detailed technical analysis tool. We call it the candy store. So just tons and tons of information about and different ways to analyze trade location, indicator confirmation, price structure, as well as a very robust education into the history of the markets. We introduced you to how the futures industry was built and how it evolved over time. Influential people like W.D. Gann, like Duplessis, like Mr. Uh, actually, I guess Cohen we do in level one. Yeah, but anyway, just the point being that a more advanced sort of look at TA. And then level three is our professional day traders program. The whole program is all one package. But yeah, there are some people that are like, Brian, I just want to be a little old lady. I don't want to learn how to be a futures trader or anything. So, just taking the level one program is probably best for them. But the people that really want to learn this as a profession, in our advanced programs, we delve into how to set up like professional workbenches and stuff like that to track your mistakes and your behavior and report cards. And also too, we go into a deep dive into like options and derivatives trading and all that. And now actually we've even included a level four program that's specifically
Okay.
about a very specific type of options transaction called spread trading. And one of our site OGs, Zach, who's just become a spread trading aficionado, he teaches all of our advanced people how to spread trade like a boss. And they just absolutely killed it in some of these crypto stocks like Mara and stuff like that. The bull call spreads. Oh my goodness, ridiculous amounts of money. So this is our education program. And of course, we have a new school term starting in the new year. The price point is ridiculous. Like we're trying to keep this as affordable as possible for all sort of the crypto type audience. So price point is very, very attractive. And as I've said to you like a couple times now, I'll say it again. The focus here is not to sort of teach you what Brian likes to trade and how Brian likes to trade. Interestingly enough, and you've probably gone through this experience, Joe, yourself, where we're trying to figure out what type of investor you are, Joe.
Yes, sir.
And ideally, what we want to do is we want to build your plan around who you are, what your objectives are, what kind of risk temperament you have as an individual. If I understand correctly, you got a pretty damn full plate. So, watching a tick chart of Bitcoin price action probably isn't the most efficient use of your time.
Not quite.
That's very different than, we have a day trader room at TRI, and it's just filled with a whole bunch of degen leverage futures traders in there. And that's all they do is just watch tick charts. In fact, I was charting the NASDAQ. Remember, I showed you that meltdown in the stock market to
You
the end of
did.
today. And I was watching a 30-second chart with people trading that. So half of our job at TRI is to try and figure out who you are as an investor and how do we build a plan that really speaks to you as an individual. And the idea here is that you leave the program with the ability to run an effective small business of trading, looking to be a profitable trader. So I think the program is very unique on the net. Thank you very much for indulging me and giving this moment to give you our little shill. And as always, folks, anybody who is watching this afterward, every term we do have a raffle. So we'll probably get the raffle going. Maybe, I don't know when the next time we see you next is.
See you in 2 weeks.
So 2 weeks will be the 3rd of January. So that'll be after the New Year's holiday. We'll probably see if we'll sneak in the raffle, maybe the weekend of the 5th and 6th, like maybe on the 7th. So maybe we can even encourage people at Coinigy to join the raffle for a free seat in our education program, and maybe also encourage, I don't know, maybe we can send a
I
note out
tried to
about,
join it last week or
huh?
I tried to join the raffle last semester.
All
We'll have to get the word out though.
right.
We'll have to get it back in our newsletter. I know we put it in there last time.
Absolutely.
Um,
And, I would encourage everybody to serious. Like what I've actually told people, and some of the names that we've looked at tonight, I think are a really good testament to that, is that this is actually your buying window. Your buying window was not when FTX was blowing itself up. It was not when Luna was blowing itself up. It was not when Celsius was blowing itself up. It was not really when, Mr. Freed was on trial. Usually, the buying window for crypto is really, I would say, the period shortly following the halvening event. Yeah, I was kind of hoping I could show you. Where's it? Oh, I guess maybe that's versus Tether. What happens if we just? Oops. No,
what
what have I done?
Go to
Anyway,
recents.
um, the point here is following the halvening events, kind of like right in here. Halvening event was here, or I guess right in here. This is the window where you got to get your act together and get your skirt together, as one fan encouraged me to say, versus swearing as much as I do. And same sort of thing. The halvening event was, I guess, right in, I think it was right in here. So, like, this is your window because look what's coming. I mean, I don't know whether it could possibly be the same as this, but just the point being, and maybe, let's just put this on a log scale. So, well, actually, that makes it worse, doesn't it? But you can see, like, this is having an event. Should you get your act together and get ready? Because look what's coming. And then this is having an event somewhere in here. Do you need to get your act together? Because look what's coming. So, would it be in your best interest to get your act together? Make darn sure that, when this event happens, you're ready. You got to get your act together, folks, right? Now is the time. And over this next 6-8 months, this is actually, I think, the buying window for the next coming big bull run here in crypto. So I don't know. I mean, do you want to make money at this? It's up to you,
I for
folks.
one would like to make money in this.
And you had to have the patience and discipline to sit through all this garbage. And, the past couple of years is big. I mean, God, you look around our society. The past couple of years has just been garbage, right? It's just been garbage time. Have you ever, hey, are you a hockey fan? I don't know. Anyway, they have an expression. I think they have an expression in a lot of sports, garbage time, when
Yep.
like one team is like totally beating the other team massively, and
Yep.
it's just a waste of time.
It's garbage time.
Right? This was garbage time in here. There's just nothing to do. Well, look how close we are to finishing garbage time and getting ready into orgy time. I love orgy time. Orgy time's great. So, and somebody get a soundbite of that. Orgy time is great. So, I don't know. Hey, can you get your act together? If you need some help and you need some guidance, we've got an awesome team. Grim is just the most awesomest level 1 instructor. In fact, I wish I had a guy like him in my life when I was your guys' age. Hopefully, Joe, you feel as though I'm a pretty good help for you.
You really are.
Um, and if you want this in a structured, disciplined manner that really is focused on empowering you to take you to the next level. And I don't know, Adam, you've taken the education program. I don't know anybody else on YouTube. I guess Fred, I think you took the education. I mean, you guys just post in there. Can you, after taking the TRI education program, can you even talk to the public about investing anymore?
My guess is probably not.
Right, because we change your life, right? So anyway, all right. There's my shill, and I would highly encourage all of you to take the few dollars that we're asking and invest in yourself, and
Yes.
and set yourself up for success in this coming bull. All right.
Yes.
There's Adam. He's saying, I can't. Sucks, but it is what it is.
That's why I can't talk to people about it.
Yeah, if anything,
Talk
it's
to the
almost
public.
funny when you try and talk to the public about investing after I've had my way with you. It's impossible because you just look at them and you go, I can't believe you're so stupid. But oh
Yeah.
well, that's the way life is, right? So
Yes, sir.
anyway.
All right.
All right. Hope
Well,
you enjoyed that, everybody. And I'll try and stop talking. What can you tell us about Coinigy? Anything in the hopper with Coinigy?
we do have a lot in the hopper. I'm cannot get into it yet. We haven't made the announcement quite yet, but in the new year, within like the next probably two episodes, I think that we'll be able to make that announcement. So,
Cool.
uh, it is in the once I get that green light, we'll be able to share it. But we're pretty excited about it.
Cool.
So,
All right.
been building for a while. So. Yeah,
Stay tuned, folks.
yeah. Stay tuned. Hopefully, within the end towards the end of January is what we're aiming for that announcement.
Cool.
So yes. Well, I wish you guys all a very happy holidays. I even had my Christmas sweater on today. My Marquette Santa playing basketball. Um, so I wish you guys all a very happy holidays. Thank you all for tuning in for week after week. We truly appreciate it. And likewise to you, Brian, we truly think I speak for everyone here. We all appreciate you for all you do and all you do for traders around the world.
Well,
So,
you're welcome. As I've said repeatedly, my number one job is to try and make a positive difference in this world.
and that you are.
Good. Well, good.
Well, best of luck tomorrow with Liam, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And
Appreciate it. Yeah, everybody give me a nice big karmic PMA. Unfortunately, these holidays are actually an absolute nightmare for me. So, but wish me luck. I will basically be trying to give Liam the absolute best possible Christmas I can. And it's a challenge. So,
understandable. Well,
yeah,
thoughts.
well, we'll probably drive 1,000 miles over the next 4 or 5 days
Awesome.
because he loves car rides. And hey, if that's what Santa's
Excellent.
brought for him this year, I'll take him for endless car rides.
I love that.
So, wish us luck on the road, and safe driving.
Yes, sir. All right. See you guys next time. Take care.
Bye for now.